Welcome to ZBCN Today, your daily dose of deep crypto insight. We don't chase hype, we explain it. From token launches to global regulation, from whales to retail panic, this is where complex stories become clear. Whether you've been trading for years or just started learning what blockchain really means, this channel helps you understand the forces driving the market. So sit back, relax, and let's get right into the facts that matter today. Over the last several months, dozens of projects promise innovation, but very few have managed to combine technological delivery, partnerships, and regulatory compliance the way Zebec has. This consistency, this clarity of execution, is exactly what separates the temporary hype-driven projects from the ones that stand the test of time. This content is for informational purposes only and not financial advice. Always do your own research before investing in crypto. Now, if you've been following along over the past few weeks, you might remember that mentioned Zebec was on the verge of completing several critical compliance milestones, things like SOC2, MiCA, and others that set the groundwork for global legitimacy. Back then, the conversation was mostly about assumptions and projections. The community was buzzing about when and whether these milestones would be completed, and a lot of people were cautiously optimistic but still waiting for concrete confirmation. Well, the waiting is over. Confirmed that SOC2 has been completed, MiCA is done and approved, and the team has officially hit those major checkpoints. These are not small steps. They are enormous achievements that elevate Zebec into an entirely different category of crypto projects. SOC2 certification proves that Zebec is handling data, security, and operations at an enterprise-grade level. MiCA compliance, on the other hand, is even bigger. For those unfamiliar, MiCA, or Markets in Crypto Assets, is the European Union's comprehensive regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies and digital assets. It's designed to bring accountability, security, and transparency to crypto operations. When a company completes MiCA, it signals to the world that they are aligned with international standards. And that's the sort of signal that traditional finance institutions, payment networks, and even government-backed partners foresee before stepping into partnerships. So what Zebec has done is not just check a regulatory box. They've opened doors to large-scale collaboration and long-term trust. And the milestones don't stop there. The team is also on track for FCA approval, expected in 2025, which will put them under the Financial Conduct Authority's umbrella, one of the most respected regulatory bodies in the world. On top of that, ISO certification is currently in progress. To those outside of compliance, that may sound technical, but ISO certifications are extremely difficult to achieve and demonstrate consistency, operational excellence, and high data management standards. All of this combined makes Zebec one of the most regulation-ready blockchain projects globally, which is a massive accomplishment considering how new the space still is. This kind of progress sets up a foundation that can attract institutional capital, global integrations, and major real-world adoption. Now, let's talk about what's been happening on the growth side. Zebec Network has been absolutely smashing it in terms of partnerships, listings, and ecosystem expansion. You can tell when a project has true momentum because its growth feels organic, not forced. They're not just announcing empty partnerships for the sake of marketing, they're building connections that actually serve a function in their long-term roadmap. Whether it's new exchanges, adding support, integrations with cross-chain platforms, or payment partners expanding the Zebec ecosystem, the team has been consistently delivering. That's what really sets them apart from so many others. In this space, time and time again, how projects get hyped up, make big announcements, and then either delay indefinitely or completely fail to execute. But Zebec has maintained a steady pace and continues to show that when they announce something, they mean it. Their team deserves a lot of credit here. From the outside, professionalism and organization that comes with experienced leadership, the way they communicate with their community, manage expectations, and follow through on their commitments is something weighed. This is not a project built on hype. It's built on structure and delivery. Personally, I recently added 1 million more Zebec tokens to my wallet, not just as a speculative move, but as a show of confidence in what they're building. And with the staking options now available, there's a real opportunity to earn extra Zebec simply by supporting the network. When you combine staking rewards with the long-term potential of appreciation, the compounding benefits become very attractive for investors who are thinking beyond the next few weeks. Now, just to put some perspective on this, if Zebec were to climb to 50 cents, that million token holding would be worth $500,000. If it only reached 10 cents, that's still $100,000. And even if it just hits a single cent, that's still $10,000 from a position that's staked and earning along the way. These aren't unrealistic fantasy numbers. They're the kind of projections that the asymmetric upside of early participation in strong projects. Of course, it's about understanding the scale of potential and the kind of impact a well-executed roadmap can have on token value. Let's pivot to one of the most exciting areas of development, Zebec cards. These are directly tied to the Zebec network and represent a clear move into real-world utility. This is where blockchain starts to meet everyday life. Through products like the Zebec card, users can spend their crypto assets directly, bridging the gap between decentralized finance and real-world payments. It's part of the broader rollout of WMC Chain and XZ cards, and what's so impressive about this is that it's not just theoretical. These cards exist, they function, and they're designed to make crypto spending as simple as using your regular debit card. This kind of real-world utility is essential if the industry wants to reach mainstream adoption, because, let's be honest, most people don't want to deal with wallets, transfers, and gas fees every time they make a purchase. They want seamless access, and Zebec is providing exactly that. The best part is that this isn't happening in isolation. Simon, the CEO and co-founder of Zebec Network, recently joined the CEO of World Mobile, another visionary project with a focus on connectivity and accessibility. This kind of collaboration might seem small on the surface, but it's actually quite symbolic. It shows that Zebec is not only growing within its own ecosystem, but also connecting with other key players to build a broader Web3 financial infrastructure. It's a mini partnership now, but over time these relationships evolve and expand. That's how cross-industry ecosystems form, and Zebec is positioning itself right in the middle of that evolution. If everything looks this good, the compliance wins, the partnerships, the new utilities, then why isn't the token price exploding? Why is crypto, and Zebec included, not pumping harder? It's a fair question, but one with a clear answer. Market prices, especially in crypto, don't always move in direct response to good news. There's a lot of manipulation, sentiment swings, and liquidity cycles that play into short-term action. Just because the fundamentals are strong doesn't mean the market will instantly reflect it. For instance, last week, Zebec's price dipped around 40%. But here's the thing. Other cryptocurrencies dropped between 70 and 85% during the same time frame. So in reality, Zebec held up far better than most of the market, which is a sign of underlying strength and solid holder conviction. That tells us a lot about the investor base, and that the majority of Zebec holders are not just here for short-term speculation, they actually believe in the project's long-term trajectory. It also signals that institutional and smart money might be quietly accumulating during these downturns, recognizing the difference between short-term volatility and long-term value creation. So yes, prices might dip and charts might red in the short run, but what truly matters is the project's ability to keep building through those conditions. That's what determines whether a token will be worth a cent, 10 cents, 50 cents, or even $1 during the next cycle. Even a 10 times return from current levels would be phenomenal, and it's important to remind ourselves that these kinds of opportunities are almost non-existent outside of crypto. In traditional finance, you might wait decades to see that kind of growth, but in crypto, with strong fundamentals and the right market timing, it can happen in a single cycle. Zebec, with its real-world use cases, institutional readiness, and growing community, is well positioned for that kind of trajectory. The key is patience and conviction. Speaking of the community, Zebec currently has over 86,541 holders and wouldn't be surprised if that number surpasses 86,600 by the end of the day. That consistent growth in holder count shows that awareness and trust are spreading. Each new holder represents another person who believes in the project enough to join the ecosystem, and that's a sign of organic adoption. Even when markets cool down, that number continues to climb, which tells you people see Zebec as more than just a token, it as part of the future of blockchain-based finance. The next few weeks are shaping up to be very important. There's a big announcement expected soon, one that the team has hinted will be quite significant. Whether it's another partnership, a new exchange listing, or a strategic product launch, one thing is certain: Zebec is not slowing down. Every move they've made so far has been deliberate and calculated, and expect this next development to further strengthen their position. This is why I always say patience pays off in crypto. While many chase after hype coins that come and go, the real long-term gains are built by holding on to projects that are consistently building something substantial. Zebec has proven to be one of those few. In closing, emphasize this: Zebec isn't just another DeFi project trying to ride the next trend. It's a full-fledged ecosystem that's building the infrastructure for continuous settlement, payment streaming, and financial automation in Web3. Imagine a world where employees get paid in real time. Every second they work, their account is updated automatically. Imagine global businesses transacting instantly without intermediaries or days of settlement lag. That's the kind of future Zebec is enabling. It's not just about tokens or trading. It's about revolutionizing how money flows in the digital economy. Remember that short-term volatility is just noise. The real story is in the fundamentals: the partnerships, the regulatory progress, the real-world applications, and the team's execution. Zebec is quietly doing everything right while the broader market remains distracted by speculation. And that's why remain confident in its long-term outlook and watch for those key breakout levels that could mark the next big move. And that's it for today's deep dive from ZBCN Today. If you found value in this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Drop your thoughts below. I read every single comment and tell me which coin or topic you want covered next. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update, because in crypto, timing is everything. Stay focused, stay patient, and I'll see you in the next one.